What's up guys, welcome back to the Sound Design channel. My name is La and today we are going to look at the kick, bass, drums of the remake that I did for Rufus Du Sol's Next to Me. So if you watched that last video, it was covering this sound here. And then today we're going to be looking at everything else that you hear here. Yeah, it's a really nice groove from Rufus. I tried to emulate the sounds as close as I could each step of the way. Obviously the vocal would be in there normally as well, but I can't get the vocal. So yeah, let's go from the bass first, which is in Serum. Take a look at the MIDI. So this is the MIDI here. Pretty simple, but it's got this nice kind of groovy, spaced out pattern here. It's not too repetitive. And yeah, so going from C, C, and then an octave above to lead us into the next part of the progression, and it's G, G, A, A, A. Very nice, like the notes don't start or hit exactly where you think they're going to do, which is just gives it this really nice like human feel, I guess. So yeah, let's look at the sound design. The processing, just before we go in, is very simple. It's just an EQ, some overdrive to help it come through a little bit more on the lower mids here, and then sidechain to the kick, very standard stuff, and then just EQ to clean up after the processing. So the sound itself is taken from the Innerbloom pack, once again, by FairCloud and PML, and it's this, if I can get to it, it's this gliding bass. But I think I just changed a few little things. In fact, let's have a look. Yeah, so with this, I messed around with these oscillators essentially. So I brought this to 0. I think I left this on 1, but I've changed it to a sub. So for the real sub, I want it to just be a clean waveform. That's what I could hear in the original. And then for this, I wanted like a subtle sawtooth. And there, it's pretty close now, right? And then all we need to do is just manipulate this envelope. So we want the envelope to have quite a bit of release. Because the notes are quite short, you want the notes to bleed to the next note. You see here, if you look down here, you can see that it's dying down, but it's still just slightly there, just before the next note comes in. And that's what we want. We need a little bit of attack to the sound, so we just attach this amp envelope to the cutoff filter. Bring it down a bit. And you just find the sweet spot, take away the resonance. Also take away the glide, we don't need that. Add a bit of drive. Hopefully you guys have good headphones on or monitors, or you probably won't be able to hear this, or you could hear a bit of it, but you want to be able to hear that nice like fixed sub. You can actually turn that up a bit, and I think it's just a little bit too open and maybe a little bit more plucky. Yeah, around there sounds good. And then with the effects, I just added a little bit of tube, which is already set up there. And then take away the mix a little bit and add a bit more drive. That's really going to warm it up. And then a bit of compression. And the compression is going to be to even out the sound. So as the notes move up and down the scale, they're going to be playing louder and quieter. So we want it to be a bit more even. Right now, it's just compressing it, and we're not making up for the volume that we've lost. So we just bring up the volume. And if you want it to be more plucky, then just loosen the attack. You can hear that the stab comes through a lot more. We can let the release down a bit more as well. Yeah, that's it. Just a small bit of compression there. And that is essentially everything that I did within the bass. So I believe. I got rid of the original, so I can't check back, but I think that was pretty much exactly how it was. So now let's look at the other stuff in this. So this isn't typical what we do on the sound design channel. Usually we just focus on like the individual sound design within Diva, Serum, Wavetable, or whatever. But I thought it'd be quite important to show the other things in here, as they obviously help a lot with the overall sound. And there is a bit of sound design going on in here as well with Operator, which I'm going to get to. So first let's look at the kick, which is this here. So it's playing this kind of, well, it's playing like a 4 to the floor pattern, but it also has this like shuffle at the end. The kick itself is taken from Deep Premium Volume 1, and it's kick 124. And with the processing, all I did is I dropped it down two semitones, so it was a bit deeper. And then I also took away a bit of the click and transient from the kick, because I could hear in the original there wasn't much of a click coming through. It was just like this deep punch. And so within the actual MIDI, which is a little bit of important stuff going on here, is just for the normal 4 to the floor pattern, which is like here, 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 and here, and here. The velocity is at full, is as high as it can be, and then the little shuffle notes in between that come at the end, the velocity is a lot lower, so they're not coming through so heavily, and you're more listening to that solid 4 to the floor pattern, and it's just more like a kind of like a drum fill. So the other stuff that's going on here, the main drums. So we've got a nice shaker loop coming here from the Ben Böhmer pack, the hat loop number 16. Just like a nice little shuffle to it, and it's emphasizing on that the upbeat. And then we have Operator here. So if you guys if you follow the PML channel, which I'm sure you do, they just recently did a video, I think, on showing how to make a hat in Operator. So you can guys go check that out. That's essentially what I've done here. I just used Operator and then put it onto a noise oscillator. And then just with the ADSR, just set it up so it was like got a bit of a decay. We'll have a listen. Oh. So you know, I could make it a lot bigger. And if you make it a bit shorter, it'll be a bit more clean, I guess. But I noticed in the original, the Rufus Du Sol track, it was like a very dirty, kind of noisy hat. You kind of just find like a sweet spot here. And for me, I always tend to add a vocoder when I'm making a hat with an operator or something like that, because you can just really fine tune like the tonality with the vocoder, and it adds a bit more of that noise in there. So without that on, yeah. And the other thing I think I did is just the frequency is being the frequency is being manipulated by the velocity. It's important to do that if you do any velocity changes, which is what I've done. Because in the original, I noticed it had this kind of like shuffle towards these notes here, essentially. And they lead nicely into the snare. As the snare hits here and here, it leads really nicely onto those notes, essentially. And so with Operator playing this sound, we also have it layered with a normal hat. Going through the same processing, just a vocoder and just the EQ to clean it up. But it's just taken from the Deep Premium Volume 5, and it's this noise hat. So it's quite a noisy hat as well. So it's not like a really clean hat. And that's it. So it's just those two layering together. And then this here is just taken from the Ben Böhmer pack again. And it's just a little perk loop, perk number 7. I think the original sound is, it's a lot more fuller. Let's find it here. So it is number 7. Yeah, so then it's that sound, but I chopped it up and took out the bits that I wanted. So I just wanted the little shuffles before the snare, which lands here. Yeah, cool. And then the snare is just a perk, which is taken from the Ben Böhmer pack as well. I just really love the drums within that pack. I use it a lot in a lot of my productions, as you guys probably might notice. But yeah, so this is perk number 5, and it's just this nice snare here. And yeah, they were the sounds that I could hear, which was similar to the original. And all together with the drums, this is what we have. And then the atmosphere stuff here is just some white noise effects taken from Deep Premium Volume 1. And then this is taken from the acoustic pack in through PML, this one here. And I just found some kind of like white noise atmosphere thing, which was this. It's got a little bit of tonality to it. So I just took away that because I just wanted the white noise in there. So I EQ'd it out. Otherwise it's got this kind of sound, which would just kind of get in the way of the other things that are in the track. I've put this big black hole reverb, which is just through Ableton. Big decay, big size, and then 50% on the dry wet. So the sound just kind of bleeds all the way through the groove essentially. So it doesn't just die off straight away. And that's on both of these sounds here. They're both the exact same sounds, just different chops from that sound essentially. Yeah, so that's it. And then the last thing is just a piano. The piano that I use, this is my piano of choice. It's from Spitfire Audio, so it isn't through Ableton, unfortunately, but it is completely free. I highly suggest that you go and check it out. It's a very nice, soft piano. And I just put a bit of compression. There's a bit of built-in reverb in there. And then we've got some side chains going on, like side chain to the bass because it's playing in this kind of lower area here, and a side chain to the kick. And then this is just a higher piano, which is the same piano, but playing on a higher octave, playing different notes. Kind of reminds me of Kanye West's Runaway. That's what's being played right at the start of the track, and it just plays for quite a little while, like on its own, being soloed. It's just an E note being played, and then goes up to the G and the B. And that is it. That is everything that's in my little remake. I hope this was helpful and educational. If it was, let us know in the comments. Also, if you want me to cover anything else from Rufus Du Sol, please let me know. I'm going to be covering some more of their sounds, as they've had an amazing year with really, really good albums. So I want to cover as many of their sounds as I can. But yeah, if there's any in particular you want me to try and cover, I will. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this one, guys. I will catch you in the next video. Peace.